Hello all and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to making another doll using this BTS doll. You know. And it's gonna be a dude this time. I know. And hear me out. It's gonna be a pirate dude. And he's gonna have fire powers, because I just can't resist. So we prep the doll, pop that head off, get rid of the face, and we're cutting this dude's foot off. Because what's a pirate without a peg leg, Here's his footless leg. That's what I was trying to say. And I drilled a hole in there and I'm gonna stick some wire in there and glue it in with some E6000 glue. And then it's time to start building up the peg leg with some epoxy sculpt. So first I do like a little bit of it at the top, so like kind of be like the flesh, because that's not all his peg leg. And then he's got that like little like wooden bit. You know how peg legs work. And then, I wrap them around and make like a nice little cone shape for, the peg leg, obviously, so we can, hobble around on a pirate ship. And then I'm gonna carve some like wood grain into the epoxy with, I think it's it's a seam ripper tool, I believe. And then we're gonna give him some cool horns, cool ram horns, because ram horns are cool, and he has fire powers. And what do rams and fire have in common? Not much, but anyways, we're sculpting those like little like I cannot remember what they're called, the ridges of the horns, the same way I did the Minotaur's horns. And now we're starting on the clothes. So we're gonna make one of those fancy frilly pirate shirts, like with like the bell sleeves, and I had this like piece of fabric that was like in the shape of a moon that I already cut out, and I used that for the sleeve and it worked perfectly. And we're sewing the base of the shirt, and then we're cutting out the fabric for the pants. And one leg will be shorter than the other, because he has a peg leg, and well, his pants need to fit his peg leg, obviously. Anyways, so we're cutting that out, and out of this like pretty sparkly fabric. It's actually the same fabric I used for the Lava Mermaid. I just thought it was pretty and would look nice and stuff. And then after that, we sew it all together. I sewed these pants kind of weird, but I also added like a waistband to make it fit better, but we don't talk about that. And here's the finished outfit. And then I also made a nice little coat, because pirates wear those like fancy jackets, like fantasy pirates, And I had some faux leather, and I'm gonna use this to make a shoulder pauldron for him. And we're gonna cut this out of the faux leather and make it in like, I don't know how to explain this. Oh, yeah, and then like put it on his shoulder and stuff, and then we're gonna cut out some craft foam to go on top of it, because it's gonna be like one of those, kind of like those like metal shoulder pauldrons with like, like the slightly raised bit. Anyways, now we're starting on his hair, and we're gonna use two colors. We're gonna use orange and this light yellow color, to like make his hair look like it has like a fiery fade, like like the Johnny Test hair coloring. So yeah, I loop strands around my needle tool and stab into the head as usual. Now I'm gonna secure it all in there with some glue. Then we can finally start painting the doll. I know you might be asking yourself, why didn't you start painting the doll? Why didn't you paint the doll at the beginning? And the answer to that is, I just wanted to make the clothes first. Oh, and here I am making him a nice little sword because pirates need swords for the swashbuckling and the water sea adventures, How will the pirates, go on their adventures without a sword? So now I'm painting the horns and the peg leg, and I did like a dry brushing thing for the wood on the peg leg to make it look like a wood texture. And here I'm adding like zodiac sign symbols all over his body because like that's just like, it's part of his lore, if you will. And he's got a nice little laboratory number on his wrist because obviously he was made in a laboratory. Part of the lore. Anyways, I'm painting some fingerless gloves on his hands because I imagine his hands are like really hot, so like whatever he touches like burns. So he's got to wear gloves to not set everything on fire all the time or make things explode. So yeah, and I also imagine he's like the head of like, oh, what are those things called? Like he's the pirate on the pirate ship that like sets off the cannons, And now I'm painting his sword a silver color, but that's not gonna stay, so ignore that. But, um, I paint it gold later, and then I add like a little bit of red to make it look like a flame. But, you'll see later, I guess. And now we're starting on the face. I start with my eye whites, as usual, the sclera, fancy words. And then and then I do his eyebrows. They also fade from a yellow to an orange, just like his hair. Well, it doesn't right now. It looks very streaky, but disregard that. And yeah, here I'm adding a little bit of orange, just to like make his eyebrows not look so short and little. In the end, I blend them together a little bit to like not make it not as like jarring of a transition. And then I fixed that mistake, obviously, because I just messed up right there, but ignore that. And now I'm painting the irises. They're gonna be nice and red, like the color of fire and his jacket. Color schemes. And then I add a little bit of a darker red on top, for the shadows and stuff in his eyes. And I add his pupils. And then after that, I add his little eye shines. So, he doesn't look so soulless, Then after that, I add my details with a paint marker. I kind of go a little crazy this time. So like most of what you see me do here, like I like literally fix it. I like undo it. But the eyes stay, so that's cool. He's got his lovely eyeliner, and his mouth looks a little too sad for my taste, so I try to make it look like a smile, but I just end up repainting it. And then I outline the eyebrows, but that looked bad, so I kind of covered it up with more paint later. But yeah. So, but it's like still translucent, so you can still see it, but whatever. Anyways, we're about to get to the reveal. Here's the reveal of the face, and here is the final doll. Um, Thanks for listening to me ramble for 10 minutes, and I'll see you later, alligators. Uh, like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you on the flip side.